You walk into a dungeon, see that treasure chest? It's a trap. That door might bite you. In D&D, nothing keeps players more paranoid and more entertained than the mimic. Today, we're diving into everything you need to know about this sticky little shapeshifter. Mimics have been lurking in the shadows of fantasy games for decades, but their origins stretch far beyond tabletop dice rolls. The core idea of a creature that disguises itself as an everyday object can be traced to mythologies across the world. In Japanese folklore, for instance, there are tales of tsukumogami, household objects that, after reaching 100 years of age, gain sentience and sometimes malicious intent. European fairy tales also feature deceptive beings that disguise themselves to trap the unsuspecting. These stories laid the groundwork for a creature whose very existence hinges on curiosity and deception. In Dungeons & Dragons, mimics were first introduced in the original Monster Manual back in 1977. Initially designed as a dungeon master's trick to keep players on their toes, they were described as strange, amorphous beings, capable of altering their physical structure to perfectly replicate wood, stone, or metal. While they are often depicted as treasure chests, because who doesn't want to punish a loot-happy rogue, they can take on almost any mundane form: doors, chairs, statues, even the floor beneath your feet. Lore-wise, mimics are usually considered solitary, opportunistic predators with an alien form of intelligence. They aren't evil per se, but they're entirely driven by survival and instinct. In some campaign settings, mimics are artificially created, crafted by ancient wizards or alchemists as dungeon guardians or living traps. Others suggest mimics evolved naturally in magical ecosystems, becoming highly efficient ambush hunters over millennia. Some powerful wizards and archmages have even experimented with controlling or breeding mimics, resulting in variants like the house mimic, a massive creature that imitates an entire building. In more whimsical campaigns, mimics can be intelligent, speak languages, or even form bizarre friendships with adventurers. These interpretations have allowed mimics to grow beyond their original role as simple jump scares, evolving into creatures that are mysterious, adaptable, and sometimes oddly charming. Whether they're lurking in the halls of a long-forgotten ruin or hiding in plain sight in a bustling tavern, mimics remain a perfect symbol of one of D&D's greatest strengths: keeping players guessing. Mimics are built for ambush. In their natural state, they resemble a quivering mass of flesh and pseudopods, but thanks to their ability to perfectly mimic the appearance and texture of inanimate objects, they can remain undetected for long periods of time. Their skin secretes a natural adhesive, allowing them to trap prey once contact is made. This gluey secretion is so strong that unsuspecting adventurers can find themselves literally stuck in place, unable to escape, as the mimic reveals its true form. Physically, mimics are surprisingly durable. They have a thick, rubbery hide that resists many forms of damage, and their amorphous bodies allow them to squeeze through tight spaces or reshape themselves to fit their environment. They are immune to acid and resistant to blunt force, making them frustratingly hard to take down with basic attacks. Their natural camouflage and shape-changing are not illusions or magical effects. They're entirely biological, which means spells that detect magic won't give them away. Mimics possess a powerful bite, capable of delivering devastating damage once they spring their trap. Some variants have even evolved acidic saliva or corrosive enzymes that begin breaking down prey as soon as they're caught. Despite being ambush predators, mimics have a strange alien intelligence. They don't speak in most campaigns, but they can understand simple commands or lures if tamed. In higher-level encounters or unique storylines, mimics may even be fully sentient, cunning, and capable of speech, opening the door to all kinds of bizarre roleplay opportunities. What makes mimics especially dangerous is their unpredictability. A dungeon full of chests? Could be a trap, a completely normal stone wall. That too, players quickly learn that nothing can be trusted, and that paranoia is part of the fun. This adaptability, both in physical form and tactical use, is what cements the mimic as one of D&D's most iconic and creatively flexible monsters. For dungeon masters, mimics are a goldmine of suspense. They're best used not just as threats, but as tools for setting the tone. One well-placed mimic early in a dungeon can make players question every chest, door, or chair they see for hours afterward. The fear of the unknown becomes the real trap. When placing a mimic, think about context. In a treasure hoard? Classic. But what about in a ruined tavern as a barstool, or disguised as a statue in a temple? The more mundane the object, the more effective the surprise. Mimics can also be used to guard specific items or locations, either naturally drawn to the spot or planted there by a clever villain. In combat, mimics are all about control. Their sticky adhesive keeps victims in place, while they lash out with their bite. Most mimics prefer to ambush a lone target, rather than dive into group combat. They strike fast and hard, hoping to immobilize prey before it can alert others. If overwhelmed, they might try to retreat, slithering away through cracks in the wall, or reshaping into another object to hide in plain sight. Mimics don't fight with tactics in the traditional sense, but they're not mindless. They'll go after the weakest-looking target, or the one who gets too close. They're also incredibly patient, waiting motionless for hours or even days. If your players get complacent, that's when the mimic strikes. Want to really throw your players off? Let them fight what seems like a normal chest, then reveal later that it wasn't the only one, or let them befriend a mimic that just wants to be loved. A little mischief goes a long way with this monster. Role-playing a mimic can be a fun exercise in unsettling creativity. While most mimics are silent hunters, some DMs give them rudimentary speech, or a mindless echo of their prey's voice, adding a layer of psychological horror. Imagine a treasure chest that groans your name just before it attacks, or a door that whispers for help when you try to open it. These subtle cues can send chills down your players' spines. If you choose to voice a mimic, consider giving it a voice that feels unnatural or incomplete. Broken sentences, mimicry of other characters, or animalistic growls that suddenly shift into humanoid speech. Think of it less as a conversationalist and more like an audio illusion. The mimic doesn't fully understand language, it's just imitating what it's heard. Physically, a role-played mimic can be jittery, twitchy, or eerily still. Its eyes might blink out of sync, its tongue might lash too far, or its limbs could shift shape mid-motion. Even if the mimic doesn't speak, you can describe its behavior in a way that makes players feel like it's not just a monster, but something ancient, alien, and just a little bit curious about the people it hunts. For more intelligent or magical mimics, you can add elements of strange logic or bizarre obsessions, one that collects teeth, mimics laughter, or insists on being called by a fake noble title. The weirder you make it, the more memorable the creature becomes. Just remember, even a talking mimic still wants to eat you. Probably. Here's a fun fact. In some homebrew worlds, and even a few published adventures, mimics have been trained as pets, janitors, or even roommates. One infamous tavern owner in a popular campaign setting uses a tamed mimic as a trash bin. It eats everything, never complains, and doubles as a security system. Just don't try to throw anything away without asking first. Whether you're springing traps, sowing paranoia, or just messing with your players' heads, the mimic is a classic for a reason. Thanks for watching. If you love monsters, mysteries, and mayhem, like and subscribe for more bite-sized creature guides.